So Bob touched on something I had a question about, so allow me to do this. So one thing that I've learned from working with the Small Business Development Center with Gary is that don't come for help when it's too late, when your business is closing next week. It's too late to come for help. Come when the times are good and prepare for the bad at that point. So very quickly, and then we'll turn it back to our audience, how do you prepare for these bad times like we have experienced? And unfortunately, in Taos, we have seen many businesses close, and it's very sad. But then we see all of you and our lovely panel with a successful business. How do you prepare for that?
One of the things when we took over, we do two things. We budget every single year, everything, every expense, every sale, everything, and we benchmark. It's important to be part of an association like your business so that you can see how other people in your business. We benchmark with the Hardware Association and the Lumber and Building Materials Association in the country, and being conservative.
Okay.
Is really important.
Could you expand upon the idea of benchmarking?
What we do is a survey that is done. It's a cost of business survey that's done by the National Hardware Association, and we take part of it every year, and it asks for everything, what you spend on utilities and what your sales are and what your employees are and all of that. And then we get the report that is the businesses across the country that take part in it. So then you have an idea of what somebody that's selling $6 million worth of stuff a year, what they're for wages, what they're paying for their utilities, all of those kinds of things, so that you can gauge whether what you're doing is reasonable. Because if you don't benchmark with somebody in your same business, you don't know whether you're doing something right or wrong. Or you could be doing it better.
I have an idea. You know, when business slumps, you have to find creative ways to find the people. So now we're doing class reunions, family reunions, and I cook the food. They tell me what they want, and I'll do it. We added a meeting room, and we even let the weddings have dances. And I mean, we worked it out to where we can let them have music, let them have a dance. It can go indoors and it can go outdoors because we have French doors all along one side of our dining room. So it opens up into, opens onto a fountain, outdoor fireplace, and all of this space that's the same floor that we have in the dining room is the flagstone outside, so they can dance. So you offer something different and something new, and then we're having art classes that are coming. We have all the bicycle tours that come to town stay with us.
Are you soliciting these groups for them? Are they just coming because you're adapting?
They just found us. And they say, can you do this? And I'll say, I sure can. Yeah, and I'll figure it out later.
You have to save a little money in the summer too. Get through for your taxes.
Oh, I was going to say that because he always does it. We have to save the money that we're going to pay in taxes. We have to save it in the summer, so we'll have it in the winter. And it's always a relief when we have payments to make to the Sentinel Bank and when we have the payments, to make to the government.
It's not as easy as it used to be. We used to have great summers and we could coast through the winter, but not anymore.
I think, the economic times, like everybody talks, sometimes make you be more on the ball. They make you do things more creatively. When we go to market or when somebody brings something in to show me to sell in the store, it's like Brenda has this thing she says, it's got to be on the money. We used to take chances. We used to buy things and say, well, this might sell. Not anymore. If we aren't positive of it, or, between the two of us, everybody has a lot of taste, but we have to say, we're we're pretty sure this is going to sell. You just don't, you have to really think about it, and you have to arrange your time and your money and budgeting. I'm always shocked at small businesses I read about, or they haven't done well, and someone will ask the owner, well, what are your sales, or what's your cost of sales? And they don't know. How can they not know? I constantly, luckily I have QuickBooks, and I compare last year and the year before to this year. I have a graph written down. I know exactly what we did in January, the last 3 years, what we did in February. You have to know, and you have to budget when you buy. And if you have bought, we have departments in our store, and so if you've spent your money you can in that department, even if you see the best thing in the world, you don't buy it because you've spent it. So you just have to be conservative that way.
We cut back on our ordering, and everyone in there is a buyer with a section, maybe 2 sections, maybe 3. And they're responsible for keeping their inventory with saleable materials and pulling the books that aren't selling, either returning them to the distributors or putting them on sale. And that's their responsibility, because I can't keep up with every title in that shop. And they do a beautiful job, and they have some self-invested in that buying, and it makes a huge difference. They're proud of it, and I'm proud of them. And before Christmas this year, I was ill, my husband was ill, and my daughter-in-law, who is a saint, moved in, took over, and I tell you, did a number. She is incredible. Her name is Charlotte, and she's accessible. The people who have been working there for years adore her and have been so cooperative. It sounds corny to say that it's more like a family, but it is. We all call on each other for advice and expertise, and it's a very pleasant place to be.
And it's not corny. I think it's wonderful that you created that environment.
If you have a desire to collect Gazella books, she was an artist when I was a young girl and a friend of my family's, so we went to her house all the time, and I have some of her paintings, but I wanted to collect all of her books, and Moby Dickens found them for me. So, feel free.